morning, everyone. It's Bob the Green Man from Chateau de Buff in Mesa, Arizona, Zone 10A. And with winter far enough behind us now, we can look and see what damage, if any, we had this winter. We had a very mild winter. 36 degrees was the low temperature. That was the lowest sustained temperature that we had all winter. So not too many issues with cold this year. If you're wondering what this stick is, well, this is our Jamaican cherry. And a couple weeks ago, I pruned it back. And the reason I did that is because these trees grow so fast. If you saw a video last year, I talked about growing Jamaican cherries. It was maybe about this tall, 3 feet or so. And this thing, when I pruned it, was probably 15 feet tall. It is still alive, as we see our little green mark right there. So this, as we heat up, and not so much during the day, but overnight, once we get into consistently in the 60s, that thing's going to start to branch out and explode. This whole area experienced its first winter, with the exception of this guava, that sapadilla, and this Suriname cherry. This was, and the black sapote. This was their second winter in this area. Everything else, this was its first winter. And I am pleasantly surprised with some things. Okay? We did not cover anything back here. Everything was left out in the elements. As you see with this sandhole, which you may think, geez, this thing is not doing well. Well, you're right. It's got some dead leaves, but look right here. That's new growth. Here's new growth at the top. New growth all over the place. So what I could have done to negate that was to keep it covered when we were below 40 degrees. And put a heat source in there. I could have done that, yes, but I really didn't want to. I want these trees to harden themselves off. And actually, if we look down here, this is a seedling, as there is no graft on it. We get down. We move all of our mulch back. Get all the way down to the dirt, the soil here. Find our root flare. It's right there. This is a seedling, okay? So these, in my experience, seedlings are going to be hardier than grafted varieties on certain trees. Okay. This cherimoya, grafted, did fine. No issues. The one difference, sandholes and altar tropical. Cherimoya grows in the mountains in South America. Same with Rolelia. No issue with the winter at all. Another one of our uber tropicals is an abiu. Now, I was a bit worried about this, but really no issue. We got a little bit of cold damage on top here. Now, the whole time it was quote unquote cold, that Jamaican cherry was covering this whole area here, so creating like a little blanket for it. But it did really well, and I'm really pleased. I am looking forward to possible, we might get some flowers this year. This is a seedling, but I think possibly next year will be its first year to flower and hold fruit. If it happens this year, great. Another one, pleasantly surprised, blackberry jam. Blackberry jam is fairly hardy. They can take down to 25-ish. Same thing, as I said, the Jamaican cherry was creating a nice microclimate for these trees right here. A little bit of damage, nothing to worry about. In fact, we've got new growth starting to flush out here on the top. Other trees that had no issue, quaimuck. It's quaimuck seedling. This was planted in August of last year, and I'll tell you what, it was right here. This was the top of it. This was the top leaf, and it's grown about 6 inches since August, and it's continuing to grow. And it looks like it's trying to put some side shoots out, which is great. This sunrise papaya, strawberry papaya, did amazing back here. Mango seedling, no problems whatsoever. Growing nicely. White sapote. Now this is normal to see after the first winter. Got a little bit of cold damage there. No problem. Here's new growth. There's some new growth pushing out over here. These can take the cold like a champ. Soursop. Soursop, if we get too cold, will drop all of its leaves. Let me see if I get back in here. This guy didn't drop his leaves. He did have some cold damage here. This is normal, but he is starting to push out some growth. This is a seedling as well, as we see all the new growth back here. On the sides here, growing nicely. I like keeping him tucked back behind here because he's still a little gangly, so when it rains, he will kind of get waterlogged and fall over to the side. Let's go head back to the pool area. Take a look at a couple trees. Lemon meringue mango, no issues. This is all from when it was in a pot. This was actually planted in December. No issue. I did cover this a couple times just because You know, it is a grafted tree. Star fruit. Now this is normal. Star fruits hate the cold. And you see we've got all these yellow leaves everywhere, but new growth pushing. We might be trimming some stuff back on top. We lost quite a bit of leaves up there. That's okay. I think I see some new growth right there. So that's good to know. And we still have fruit ripening on the tree. Cavendish bananas. These are dwarf Cavendish. This is all cold damage. Nothing to worry about. Everything else looks great on this banana. Peanut butter. Peanut butter will take a little damage. The old growth took some hits, but it's pushing out new growth like there's no tomorrow. This thing flowered and fruited 3 times over the winter, which is great. Mame, we planted this at the beginning of December, and he did great through the winter. Really no issues at all with our winter this year. Jackfruit planted the same time. Lost a couple of leaves, which is normal. You kind of want to grow jackfruit as if they were mangoes in our climate. Pushing new growth. Really nice branch right here. All over. This is a grafted variety, so there is a chance of flowers this year. I doubt it will fruit, but then again, you never know. Amberella, June plum, absolute trooper. Couple days ago, lots of yellow leaves. But like the star apple, it does not like the cold. It'll tolerate it. Here's just some leftover branches that just fall off. But as we heat up, it just pushes out new growth. Flowered and fruited over the winter. Look at all that fruit. And I still have some fruit from last year that is ripening. We're getting close to having some fruit. This tree did great. Papaya, this is a red lady. This thing did absolutely fine. This is normal. Held on to its fruit over the winter. Even flowered and produced more fruit like a champ. Wax jambu. Now, I was told that a wax jambu does not like anything below 40 degrees. This thing had no problem at all. Now, it's a nice microclimate over here, tucked away. It is also a seedling, which drives home my theory that seedlings prefer or can acclimate a lot better than a grafted tree with some tropical fruit trees. Sugar apple, really no problems here. This is normal. All these leaves are going to fall off, and they're going to push new growth out. here. Let's head over to our ice cream bin, because last year we had a couple of leaves get burned on the ice cream bean when we were in the mid-30s. This year, absolutely nothing. Took the winter like a champ because this was its second winter. It had acclimated itself, and it acclimated itself very nicely. I have a feeling this is going to flower and fruit for us this year. Let me see if I can find some of last year's damage. I don't know if I can. I think I pruned all of it out. Here we go. This is what cold damage looks like on these. They just brown in the middle. But they come back real strong, real quick. I did not prune them at all last year. This year we did prune this tree fairly heavily. You can see all of our cuts here. The tree responded with, well, growth. Look at that copper growth. That's beautiful. All right, let's head to the front. We'll take a look at a couple more trees, and then we'll call it a day. All right, a couple trees that we had a full winter of. This mango. This is a seedling, Manila. No issues at all. Achacha, lychee, no problem. Red Malaysian guava, took the winter like a champ. Our other seedling mango, no problem. So up here, no issues. We recently did plant a grafted coconut cream mango and a purple star apple over here. I don't think these will have much of an issue, this especially because the proximity to the house and the overhang. It will, this area usually stays fairly warmer when it's cold outside. And then over here, just our microclimate that we got going, I think this guy will be totally fine. Throughout most of the winter, this teepoo was creating like a blanket, kind of like how the Jamaican cherry was in the tropical zone in the back. Well, hey guys, that's the video for today. Hope you enjoy it. If you have any comments, questions, let me know. Love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. And we'll leave you with this, our first spice seed nectar plum flower. Have a great day, guys.